pacing back and forth. Oh, I don't understand why you're standing right here. All your shots have scored. No, scratching at the scars you left on my skin. We fight and we fall and we rise through it all till we find what we want, then we lose it all again. Your touch on my skin, pull me close, take me in. Just me, just you, lost in the moment.
Hello everyone, it's Karen. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, I'm real glad you clicked on this video. Guys, okay, so this video, I kind of attempt to do a get ready with me while I'm telling you the story about Kayla. This is a video where it's going to be a little bit longer, and it's one where you can really get to know me. I gotta give you a little bit of a backstory on Kayla so you understand what I'm about to tell you, and I hope that you will gain something from this video. I also do a look with the Ace Beauty palette because you guys have wanted me to do that, and I just didn't want to sit here and tell a really scary story without, you know, incorporating makeup into it. So why don't we just get into it, and I look forward to talking with you guys down in the comments. Hi guys. If this is your first time here, I'm Karen. I have a beauty channel, mostly beauty over 40, and I have 4 kids, and 3 live at home, and I have one that has a condition called tuberous sclerosis. It's a disability, and she was born with it. 1 in 6,000 are born with tuberous sclerosis. And basically it's a condition that causes tumors to grow in your major organs. Most of my, and I don't like to call them subscribers, I like to call them my friends or gems. They know about Kayla and they hear her sometimes in the background. We have a very different lifestyle when you have a child that has a disability. Kayla's nonverbal. Once in a blue moon, she'll be able to say hey or hi. And when I make posts about her, I do hashtag Kayla's dream because I really feel like her dream is to talk. You can tell she wants to talk so badly. And she's just a dream. Everyone that meets her falls in love with her. And she suffers with seizures every day. So sometimes I talk about her and I update you guys on her. And I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about what happened yesterday or not, but I decided I'm going to try. And I posted on my community tab. That's where I kind of talk with you guys in between doing videos. And I asked you guys if you wanted to hear about the scariest day of our lives. And 100% of you said yes. So I'm going to attempt to maybe do my makeup and talk about this with you and let you guys know what happened and a little bit about my family. I have worked my butt off. I spent 6 years in college. I've had 2 failed marriages. And I don't get like child support or anything like that. I take care of my kids. And I will always do that. They mean everything to me. And I know you moms out there can relate to that. And I know that those of you that have children that have disabilities can relate to what I'm saying and what I'm about to say. I mean, it's like having a newborn, you know, forever when you have a child like that, and you wouldn't trade the time that you have with them for anything. And I've never met a mom that wasn't tired and that wasn't stressed, you know, worrying about their kids, what they eat, how they do at school, all those different things. And of course I do that. I also cannot work outside of my home. I've tried so many times, and I got back to, after my last marriage, getting into makeup because I was told basically not to wear it. And so I didn't for years. I went and took another class, makeup artistry class, and to get caught up to date, because I am over 40 and I love it. And I thought, well, I want to turn this into a career at some point, doing YouTube, for sure. You know, because I love makeup and beauty and everything that goes along with that. I've struggled with textured skin, acne, and all these different things. And I want to help people out there. I've always wanted to help people. I can't leave Kayla. I have to be around for her. And I've lost jobs because I've had to leave to care for her. There are times where she just needs me and I need to be there. And there's nothing more important to me than my daughter. I'm a very hard worker at everything I do. But it got so difficult and so upsetting, you know, to see people, I have to let you go. You know, you missed 3 days last week. Well, she had a seizure. She got hurt another day. And it's a battle, you know, and you get upset, but, you know, you go home and you figure things out. And that's what I've been doing for a long time, figuring things out. I have my coffee here, and this is probably going to be a little bit longer of a video. And it's because I want you guys to know me and to know Kayla. YouTube, I need you guys. I love you guys. You guys are my outlet. You're my friends. I really don't have friends in real life. And this is real to me. All of it. You guys are real to me. Every time I see a comment from you or something else, or you're engaging on my videos, I get so excited because that's my time with you. And I love it. I love having time with you guys. I've got black coffee right now. And I'm debating whether or not I want to actually eat the Hershey's Kisses that are on the counter. Breakfast. Kayla has like 12 specialists. A specialist for every major organ. And she was diagnosed after me pushing the doctors down in Florida. We were in Florida at the time. To do a CAT scan. I said, something's wrong. She's having these involuntary movements. I think they're seizures. And the doctor down there, the neurologist, said, well, how do you even know you saw a seizure? Well, she was moving and she wasn't meaning to do it. So I'm pretty sure that qualifies, you know? And, well, I don't think we're going to find anything, but we'll do a CAT scan. So we get the CAT scan done. And Rose Radiology or something, I think it was called, in Spring Hill, Florida. And then I get home, and I still had a landline at the time. It was 2009. And they said, see the phone ring as I was going in the door with her. And they said, don't freak out, but we see some shadows. Can you bring her to All Children's Hospital in St. Petersburg right now for an MRI? I was like, I went and picked up my other kids from school, drove the hour and a half down there. Then I had to wait 2 weeks for the results. I was like, it was definitely one of the worst 2 weeks I've ever had. And I was not prepared for what came next at all. And I don't think any parent would be. And I remember the feeling, and I remember when it happened. It was Wednesday, March 18th, 2009. It was like 4:30 in the afternoon. And my daughter's dad was with me at this time. He was in and out of our lives, but he came with me for this appointment. And they said, the signs when she was a baby were so subtle, like they were white ash leaf patches, and she had like a light one right here, one on the back of her leg and one on her back. And they had noticed that, and then this doctor was like calling in the other doctor that they worked with, and I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, well, your daughter has tuberous sclerosis. And I was like, what is that? I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. They were like, well, It's this condition that causes tumors to grow in your major organs, and she's got 3 in her head. And maybe you should just Google it, they told me. And I was like, you Google things and you come up with the worst cases. Doctors usually tell you not to do that, you know? And I had doctors in the past tell me, don't Google it, you know, you're going to freak yourself out, you know, with other things. Not this, but he told me, you know, if she lives to be an adult, and I couldn't. I was like, no, stop it, no. So we put her on medication to try and control these seizures, and as she got older, it got worse. She was the child, she crawled for like 2 seconds and then got up and ran at 9 months of age. And she was the child that was different. She was hard to get to know. That's the best way I could describe it. But there was so much love. Like, it was really, really very different, and I knew something was very different about her. And she's 13 now, and a couple times a year she'll go through growth spurts where her seizures are out of control, and she has them every day. 90-second seizures here and there, some drop seizures. She's been to the emergency room twice. Once at school, they didn't realize her head drop seizures were that powerful, and she ended up going to the floor and getting stitches. And then one of her aides, like a year and a half ago, wasn't when you have to assist her to walk because she's a toe walker, and we're trying to get that fixed, but insurance is trying to deny the surgery she needs. So I hold her underneath her shoulders, and I'm like behind her or right on her side. At any time she can drop down, and the aide that she had, she dropped down very forcefully and she broke her pinky toe, and I had to take her to the emergency room for that. She's got equipment that she needs. Sometimes the insurances will pay for it, sometimes they don't. A lot of the times it's a fight, it's a battle. Everything is a battle. And I'm blessed though. I still feel blessed even with everything that I've been through. And sharing this story with you, I'm hoping it'll help prepare you for all of the questions that you need to ask when your child has any procedure done. One in 6,000 are born with what Kayla has. And she's had several MRIs. And each time they've compared the MRIs to the previous one, and to see if there was any changes. Where she has the tubers in her head, she's got 1 here and she's got 2 back here. They don't usually grow. And we were getting ready to do a routine MRI. And they sedate her because she's mobile. She's also autistic. Autism runs with tuberous sclerosis. And she does these repetitive movements and repetitive sounds. And sometimes she, you know, people get scared by it that don't know her, you know.
How was school? How was school? It was okay? Are you going to smile for me? Yeah, thank you.
And other times people just giggle and laugh because she'll just come out and be like, oh, you know, like almost like a baby cooing, but much louder. And they're different types of sounds, you know. I have a nurse here with her when I'm doing videos and stuff. And this is my life. Everything I do is pretty much from home. So we used to take her to, well, I say we, it was me, take her to Columbia to get an MRI done, you know, where there's pediatric care and all of that. And I had been going to the TS clinic where you can see a few different doctors at a time as opposed to all these one-on-one appointments, because we're at the doctors every week. I mean, literally every week. And most of the doctors are out of town. So it's traveling, you know, and then worrying about who's going to watch your kids and all these different things while you're doing that. And there's always these life pressures, you know. And this time, for whatever reason, Columbia did not set up the MRI, and I wasn't going to wait until our next clinic appointment. And you know how you call the doctors and they just don't get back to you on time, and things slip through the cracks, and it sucks. So I took her to her pediatrician, and I said, look, she really needs this MRI. She also needs a renal ultrasound, which is an ultrasound of the kidneys. It's time to check that too. We don't go back to Columbia till this date. Can we go ahead and get this set up? And this way I can get the results and just bring them to my next appointment. And her pediatrician was like, yeah, no problem. And I'm like, okay, great. So that's what we did. And they called me a day before, tell me a little bit about Kayla. Let's do this MRI interview, they called it, and pre-registration. So we did that. Gave them the insurance information, told them about Kayla, told them, you know, everything that I felt that they needed to know. You know, I mean, I've been dealing with this for 12 years, and I know quite a bit about it. And I always ask a lot of questions, and I'm so upset that I didn't find out more about this. But you know, when you wake up, like, I have an anxiety disorder. I'm not going to lie, I do. I have one. And it's irritating, and I don't talk about it a lot because I like to talk about the blessings and the amazing stuff that I experience. And a lot of the times when I go through heartache, you know, I will try to find the positive in that, because you just need to keep pushing yourself forward as a mom and taking care of these kids, and you've got to look at things a certain way, you know, and it can be hard to do. It can be very hard to do at times. But that's where my education has helped me with that. Learning to be a counselor, you know? I'm using the Benefit Professional Primer in case anyone's interested. With the MRI, can't have anything to eat or drink. It's under sedation. They told me they've given her anesthesia, you know, in the past. I really didn't know to ask any other questions. She's had several of these, like 15 at least. And nothing had ever really changed, so it was routine for me. But we were taking her to this new hospital. It was local, and there was these new doctors and this team of nurses and different things that were there, and it took a long time. We got there at like 7:30 in the morning, or 7 o'clock. The appointment was like at 7:30, and then we were waiting for doctors. They were getting ready to put her IV in her hand, and she's so little. I'll insert a picture here after it was done. They had to bandage it up so she wouldn't pull it out and everything, and they put a little splint on her, and she is such a warrior. This child sat there getting a needle put in her hand and did not even blink. I was like, she's used to being poked and pried. They were so like, they fell in love with her, just like everybody does, because she's got those big brown eyes and that perfect little pout, and she's just that cute little nose, and she's just a joy. She makes you smile, she makes you laugh, she makes you cry, you know, with tears of joy. So it kept taking a little bit longer, and I had woken up with this sick feeling that something bad was going to happen. And at times I've got to be like, Karen, you're being paranoid, because I do have an anxiety disorder, and I've got to be careful with that. But a lot of the times when I've got a bad feeling, stuff has come true, or, you know, we've had close calls, because I'm always praying, you know, always, always, always. God is very real in my life, and he's saved me from so many things. It's unbelievable. And even the people in my life that don't believe in God are like, wow, Karen, you know, I definitely think somebody's looking out for you, you know. And 2 hours we were waiting to go into the MRI room, and they were like, do you want to come in? And I've never been in there for an MRI before, but I was thinking about it, and we had waited so long for this to get ready to go into this test that was going to take like 30 minutes for looking at the brain, and then they were also going to look at the abdomen too, so that would be like another 30 minutes. And I wanted to get some coffee, so they had my cell phone number. I wasn't leaving the hospital or anything. I was just going to the cafe, and I was like, when I come back, you know, maybe I'll come in the room then. And I went off to go get my coffee. They're like, she's in good hands, you know, kissed her, seen a little bit, and my dad was waiting out in the car. He had come with me, which he helps as Kayla's aide sometimes with me, and he's amazing. I love my dad. He's like my best friend. So I get a phone call as soon as I got my coffee. I mean, it had been like maybe 20 minutes, and the guy's name was Craig, and he was like a nurse, I guess. And I'm like, is Kayla okay? And he's like, yeah, she's fine. He's like, but she stopped breathing twice, and we had to resuscitate her. I ran back trying to find the maze, through the maze, my dad with me, to where she was. They had given her propofol, and I guess that's a type of anesthesia, and in the past, no one has told me whether they've given her propofol or not. And for some reason, they did not contact where she had the MRI the time before to see what they used. Because I told them, I said, I was just told that she was given general anesthesia, you know, that was it. And they said that they gave her the propofol and she'd stop breathing. And they went and they brought her back. They resuscitated her. They used the airbag, he had said. So they thought that maybe they had given her too much and decided to put her under again with a lesser amount. And she stopped breathing again. And then they had said to me, well, it's possible they have incubated her and the breathing was done for her in the past, but we don't have those capabilities here to do that. I don't understand all the doctor mumbo jumbo. And now I will be asking way more questions as far as what's going on. I don't think that she's been incubated in the past. She could not breathe on her own underneath that anesthetic. I saw her. They said propofol wears off, very quickly. And she was sitting up and she was fine. I can't lose her. Obviously, they stopped the procedure because they felt it wasn't safe. It wasn't. And they called her pediatrician and told them what had happened. And I spent a whole day hugging and kissing her.
How are you feeling, Kayla? You much better now that you don't have that IV in your hand? You really gave Mommy a scare today. I'm not sure if Mommy's going to share this story with everyone. What do you think? Do you think maybe we should for educational purposes so people know to ask more questions when you're going under sedation? It might be beneficial. Although it was one of the scariest days of my life, and no doubt yours. Mommy loves you so much, Kayla. I'm so glad you're okay. Let's finish feeding you your breakfast. Yeah.
and then I wondered if my feeling was right. I don't want to be like crazy and paranoid over things, you know, but I do trust God, and I did pray, and I really feel that he was looking out for her. I mean, I'd never seen 5 people go into an MRI for her ever, but there was nurses, there was, and they were awesome, I'll be honest with you. They were so sweet and so good with her beforehand. I don't know what to make of this incident other than it freaked me out. It freaked my dad out, of course, my mom. Yesterday I watched her like a hawk to make sure that, you know, nothing happened to her, and we watched her throughout the night. Me and my eldest daughter took turns. She's 17. And ask questions. And from now on, I want to know what type of anesthesia is being used. If she's going to be doing the breathing on her own, or if the breathing's been done before her. I want to know what happened in the past. I want to know what we can do in the future. The tests need to be done to make sure that there's no significant changes in the brain and nothing's developing on her major organs, aside from what we know she already has. And that's what I've learned from this, is you've got to ask questions, tons of questions. You need to know everything, and I thought I did, but I didn't know enough about this. And it's left me wondering with so many different questions. I try not to think about what it was like for her. And I'm so glad I wasn't in the MRI. I would have freaked out. But I probably will be the next time in the MRI. Definitely. Kayla is a treasure. And all of your children are. Family is everything. And stuff like this does happen. And it's scary. Super scary. I can't begin to describe the feeling that I felt. But I know that there's people out there that have probably been through something similar or something worse. And my heart goes out to you. You can use my comment section to talk to me about anything that you want. Anything at all. I'm just so appreciative that you're all here, because I do consider you my close friends. And this helps me, and I want to help you guys. And I'm hoping to, well, I think I can do it. Become a bigger influencer, because I really want to give back. And I really want this channel to be a place where you can come to, where there's no drama. It's just me and you. We're hanging out. I'm sharing tips from buying new products, different things, doing reviews, showing you what I've learned through makeup artistry and all these different things. And that's what my channel is about. I will update you on my life from time to time if you guys want to hear that, because there is a lot behind the scenes that nobody sees. And I'm usually really private about these things. But you guys are my friends, and I am hoping that this is going to educate those of you that have medical procedures, maybe help to determine what questions to ask, what procedures you need or may not have done. You know, sometimes people do procedures as a precaution, you know, sometimes they're doing it because you need to figure out if something's wrong. And then sometimes there's things that are unnecessary, you know, that don't really need to be done. I mean, I don't want to freak anybody out, of course, but I do want to inform you of the things that I've experienced, because it might help somebody else. It might prevent something really bad from happening. And I know that I don't ever want to see anyone go through any of this at all. I mean, I take my daughter Kayla out with me, but I don't really go out except for the store, you know, maybe like to the mall or something. Like, my life is so much different. Like, my kids, you know, I try to put them in sports and do different things with them, but it's difficult to do, and I'm always like running ragged trying to make sure everybody's healthy and happy all the time. And sometimes we're in the store and like there's been people, you know, that stare at Kayla. There's been people that have tried to talk to her, which I think is super cute and sweet. And then there's people that are like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? And I can't tell you what that feels like when you're just like, huh. This is who she is. A lot of you guys wanted to see me use this new Ace Beauty Falling For You palette. So I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes with this today. I want to thank you guys for being here and showing your support. This wasn't an easy video to make, and I didn't want to make it when things were so fresh yesterday. I didn't want it to be where my emotions completely took over and you guys didn't understand what I was saying. So I had to take a step back and, of course, say some prayers, spend some time with my baby girl, who's now in school today, doing fine. And I'm just so thankful. So thankful. There's a color in here called Squash, and it's like a pinky, as you can see, because it's on my eyes, and it's not, it doesn't look like squash at all. So this is the palette that Chestnut is like a purple. And I'm like, okay. A little different. And I think this brush I have here is a Firma 202. Pumpkin Pie is like that. Like, okay. For the most part, I'm usually very happy and cheerful on my channel, and because I'm doing what I love and I'm hanging out with you guys, and I had to get my butt in gear, so I figured I would share my story because it's not good to hold things in. And you guys are like my best friends, so sharing it was like, yeah, let me go ahead and ask them if this is what they want to hear, you know. And you guys said yeah. I mean, like 100% of you guys said yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get myself together, I'm gonna tell this story, let them know what's going on. And I've got like product review back here that I've got to finish up videos on. So I was like, all right, Karen, tell the story, do your makeup, and let's get this content out there and do what you love doing. And you guys know me with my reviews. I'm like super thorough, and I love doing that. I think we'll go in with, should we go in with cranberry? Pine cone is like a brown, which definitely pine cone-ish, absolutely. But I've got this light pink for a transition shade here. I did put MAC Paint Pot eyeshadow primer on my eyes. Autumn, it's a pretty color, but I don't think I would have classified this as autumn. Maybe. Let's go ahead and put some here in the crease. It's a lot of pigment, so let me go ahead and put some of that over here. Take some time to blend this out. I like laying down the color and then going back in and blending with a blending brush that doesn't have anything on it, so this way you're not just smearing around pigment. For a lot of you guys that are new to doing eyeshadow, I always put the pigment where I want the most pigment first, and then I go back in with a separate brush to blend it out, because what you blend is going to extend. And a lot of you that have messaged me said, Karen, my eyeshadow's looking like a muddy mess. Well, do it this way. Let's try it this way and see what you get out of it. All right, let me grab a good blending brush. I do like Morphe's blending brushes, Luxie's blending brushes, and you can see like these are both blending brushes. One here is a little more floppy, the other one has a little more control. Okay, there are going to be times where you want a floppy brush, and there's going to be times where you want a brush that has control. You want to control where it goes. And right here, this Luxie brush, which number is it? 231, is going to help me blend this into my crease without extending it too far. You want your eyes to look lifted. Now, mind you, if you have different eyes, you probably are going to have to do your eyeshadow a little different. I like using circular motions to blend, and I don't want my eyeshadow to hang down, because then it's going to make my eye look like I have eyes that are, you know, hanging down. We don't want that. We want them to look lifted. And right here is so important to blend. Take some time to do your blending, and make sure you're using a blending brush that doesn't have anything on it, so this way you're not adding pigment as you're trying to blend it out, because it could make a muddy mess, you know. All right, so we've got this color in here. We're ready to move on to another color. There's a lot of really pretty shimmers. Like cider is like gold. Like, does that remind you of cider? Like, I'm thinking apple cider, you know, like, well, maybe like champagne kind of apple cider. I don't know. But these colors just struck me as a little different. All right, let's go in with, I like to put something really light in here. And apple is very interesting. Let me go ahead and start with that. And I'm going to take, like, I think this is the Morphe M421, one of my favorite brushes. And we're going to dip it into apple. And we're going to put that right here. And I'm probably going to have to use some setting spray. And this would go on easily with your finger, but you can't always get it too precise with your finger. So I like using a brush as opposed to my finger, unless I absolutely have to use my finger. And I think you guys get the point. All right, let me go ahead and grab some setting spray so it doesn't take forever to build up here. I like that. Okay, so this next one that I'm going to use, Cherry Pie, is like, I don't know, a pink. So I'm going to go in with a blinged brush that I used earlier, my concealer. We're going to put that right here. I'm going to use just 2 colors, I think, on the lid today. Yeah, that's pretty. And it kind of does look like cherry once it's on the eye. Not so pinky. Yeah, I'm liking it. So put a little bit there in the crease. Okay. Put it on the lid. Blend these 2 colors together. Go back in with my Morphe brush, and we've got that apple. Just gently blend. Try to give it like that ombre effect. Just play around with these 2 brushes until everything is covered. There's no separation in pigment. Now we're going to grab our blending brush. This is where we want a little bit more of a fluffy brush, okay? Because we're going to blend a larger area. Going to start right here, and then I like to flick, I call it, the pigment up, as opposed to putting it this way and possibly dragging it down. And this is where a fluffy brush with nothing on it helps to blend everything together. I like that. I like this palette. I really do. I think that I need to put some eyeliner on, and I love me some black liner, and then we'll do underneath the eye. So give me a minute and I'll be back. I don't have a clean stiffy. For those of you guys that are new to my channel, I call the eyeliner smudge brush a stiffy. It's a stiff brush, and it's really, really helpful for doing tight lining underneath the eye and a whole bunch of stuff. So I've got these two brushes here that I'm going to be using. This one here is the Jaclyn times Morphe Inner Corner Highlight Brush, and this one here is a LaRouche brush, which I love these. Tapered blending, we're going to need both of these to do underneath the eye, and I went in with Tarte liquid liner for the top of the eye, and Kylie Jenner's new black liner. I like that too a lot. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take some setting spray. I'm right now using One Hit Item setting spray, and put some on this brush. We're going to go ahead and take that apple color here, and we're going to put that on the inner corner. This is the perfect little brush. I love it. I mean, there are other brushes that are perfect for this too, though. Don't get me wrong, there are. So we're just gonna lighten this up, and then what I'm gonna do is gently bring it over, dipping in a couple times. That's like a super pretty color. I'd like something a little bit lighter, so I'm probably gonna actually go in with, yeah, might as well do it now, Jaclyn's Beaming Highlight in the shade Extra. This is pretty amazing, and by far one of my favorite highlighters. Yeah, like, hi. You can see this. Yeah, for sure. Blend your highlight, don't just leave it there. Whew, I'm liking. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go in with Cherry Pie, and maybe we'll throw another color in there. I think I'm going to mix Autumn, so using the same brush, and Cherry Pie. Gonna start right here and bring it back. Wiggle it. We want to create like the smoky effect. So lay down that color. And a little more pigment over here. Alright, now you got that color laid down. Go back in with this wonderful little brush right here. I'm gonna start in the middle. And short, quick little motions to blend it out. Kind of blend it upward. It really makes a huge difference when you do the blending. Now you want to figure out what you want to do as far as like fine detailing. And a lot of you, when you're doing your looks, you know, you stop here, or you don't take the time to see if there's separation in pigment, if there's an area you need to go back and blend more, like stuff like that. I think I'm going to take this highlight here, and I'm going to wipe off the Morphe M421 and dip it in here. It's a perfect flat brush. I'm going to put that right, woo! Okay. Hello. Right there. My goodness. Okay, so I've got to blend that out. That's obvious. And we're going to, but we want to make sure that the eye continues to look lifted. So I'm going to wipe off this brush, and what I'm going to do is just kind of blend it right there. Don't want to bring it down too far because I don't want my eye to look dragged down. So just kind of blend it like that. We're good to go right there. Oh, let me see a little bit more here. Yeah, fine detailing, you know, that's life. All right, so I'm going to decide whether or not I want to do a wing. Should I do a wing, guys? Should I? I'm liking wings. I love wings. Or should I just leave it like this? Yeah, let's leave it like this, I think. We'll see. Okay guys, so I finished my look and I bared my soul to you. I would love to know your thoughts about this video, about the palette, down in the comments below. I liked it. It blended really well. Of course, I haven't used all of the colors yet, but I'm looking forward to doing so. Guys, talk to me down in the comments. Do you want to continue to hear updates about Kayla? You know, would you like me to do more of those kind of vlog videos? Or just stick to makeup? Either way, just remember to be nice down in the comments to one another, and I appreciate you guys so much. Like I said, you're my friends. I adore you. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you would take a chance on this channel. Subscribe, stick around, see if it's something that you like. I'd love to connect with you, so talk to me in the comments. If you're new, let me know your favorite color. I'll see you guys really soon in another video.